Hello, everybody, and welcome to Boutique Talk bonus feature, special feature, something like that. I'm going to throw these out every now and again when I forget to book a guest. I will be honest with you. And today, I am going to be going over every single Criterion Collection movie I have. There are a lot, folks. I want to say I have over 50. I know that. I want to say like 58, 59. I literally just picked up some Laserdisc titles today. I know Criterion Collection sale is currently going on live now in Barnes & Noble, at criterion.com, all that fun stuff. But I am obsessed with my Laserdisc player, and I just found out that there were Criterion movies for it when I bought the lot, and I just started looking for them now, and I'm addicted. I'm obsessed, if you will. So I will start with should I start with Laserdisc? Should I make my way through that journey? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go through a journey through time, if you will. Laserdisc, and we'll start out with a classic. The Wizard of Oz. Yes, The Wizard of Oz did get released on Laserdisc, number 59. All of these were still numbered, just like all of the other Criterion Collections ones are. There are special features on here as well. Very cool. A member of the Lollipop Guild is in here, an MGM promotional short, an audio commentary with film historians. I don't want to go over all of them. It's just not a lot of Laserdisc movies had special features, but Criterion did. I will try to show off as well as I can a lot of the bells and whistles, if you will, on these sets. But yeah, first one up, not a bad one to start with, The Wizard of Oz. If you guys have any comments for me, feel free to leave them and I will get to them. Let's do a collector movie, man. Hey, Steelbook Obsessed, how am I doing today? I'm doing just peachy, thank you. Very exciting news about True Lies, Aliens, and The Abyss. You're very excited to get all of those movies, and you've never seen any of them? Oh my God, I'm very envious of you. True Lies, I saw when I was like 9, 10, fell in love with that movie so hard, and it's been hard to get your hands on a physical copy. It's been hard to find unless you watch it randomly on cable. So it's very cool that True Lies is going to get a 4K release in March. I cannot wait for that. That's the one I'm most excited for. Aliens is going to look so crispy. The Abyss, I personally have never seen, so that'll be a first time watch for me as well. Let's see here. Hey, will you think they will make an Oppenheimer Steelbook? They do have one coming out already. It's coming out this month. It's coming out this month at the end of the month. It's that classic, like him walking through the big atom bomb explosion. Very cool. Have you ever thought of doing like an audiobook? You've always found my voiceover so relaxing. No, but if anybody knows how I can start doing that, I would love to. That's not the first time I've heard that. My dream job would be to be like a voice actor of some sort. That would be like the biggest thing I could mark off my bucket list. I would love it. How's it going, Movie Hunter? Smash that like button, please. Yes, like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you're listening on podcast form, it's doing very well. I will just kind of throw that in there. In Canada, we are ranked number 34, which is awesome in the film reviews. In the UK, we're ranked like 55, somewhere around there. The US, we got some catching up to do. We're ranked at like 105. But Boutique Talk, if you are not following my podcast, that would be the first thing that I would do, because I love doing the podcast so much. Outside of Criterion, what other boutique labels are popular to collect? Listen to the podcast Boutique Talk. I go over a specific boutique title with a guest and talk about a specific movie in that line. So far, we've talked about Synapse Films. That's a very unheard of boutique label that more people need to check out because their transfers or special features are amazing. We've talked Arrow Video. We've talked Scream Factory with the Halloween box set. I also collect imprint films. If anybody wants to talk imprint films with me, come on the podcast. I would love to. No one's mentioned Vinegar Syndrome, which I find hilarious because in my neck of the woods, in the collecting circle that I'm in, a lot of people bring up Vinegar Syndrome all the time, but every person I've asked has not brought up a Vinegar Syndrome title. I will be bringing up Second Sight Films. They have some of the best transfers I've ever seen. Those are the main ones that are coming to my head right away. Okay. Oh, we got more. The Oppenheimer Steelbook comes out 11/21. Good to know. Hi, and what's up? But let's continue down the road on Criterion. We got Sling Blade, yep, mashed taters. Here is Sling Blade. Not a lot of special features on this sucker. We have an audio commentary by Billy Bob Thornton. We got an introduction by Billy Bob Thornton. We have, Mr. Thornton Goes to Hollywood, an award-winning documentary on the making of Sling Blade. I have not seen that personally. Oh my god. Unfortunately, this is like one of two that I got in this collection that has seen better days. The discs look fine, which is why I bought them, but it did get a little bit of like water log. I'll show the next one I will show got the worst of it. But Sling Blade, a movie I've not seen in a very long time and I've been wanting to recheck out. So yeah, and that number. I'll go the numbers on each and every one of them because I find that most fascinating with Criterion. Criterion is the first boutique label that I ever really figured out what a boutique label was because of that. I worked at Hollywood Video. They had a Criterion section, and I was just fascinated. I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty much like film school, intro to film school, I guess. I took a lot of film classes in college, and I dove in 2 feet first. This is number 350. So already on the Laserdisc format, we are in the hundreds, which is very cool. The next one, which is number 325, and unfortunately got the most waterlog of them all, Train Spotting. Yes, Train Spotting was in the Criterion Collection. I'm not even going to get it out of the sleeve that I have it in here because we can't even open it up. That's how bad the waterlog is. I almost didn't get this one, but the dude just threw it in. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I will take it. It is cool to see Train Spotting. Did get a Criterion release. Absolutely love that. I like, especially on these, I like to talk about the special features and stuff. 9 deleted scenes, video interview on the author of the novel Train Spotting. Very cool. A whole bunch of commentaries, all that fun stuff. Next one I got. It's a classic that I have not seen, and I've been meaning to. It's just so damn long. Number 78A. I've never seen one lettered before, but this is Lawrence of Arabia. This thing is crispy, folks. Oh, and I did want to show off the old school Criterion logo right there. What is that? It looks like a P. I'm assuming that's the Laserdisc logo because it looks like a book opening up, and there's the disc. Sorry about the glare, everybody. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Very minimalistic cover artwork on these Laserdiscs at the very least. We just got an open sand shot. We got an open sand shot on the inside. Only 2 discs too, which is nice. And this was back in the day before DVD Laserdiscs came out. So when they had chapters, but they had so many chapters, and it's literally them just describing what scene is going to be hopped into, which I thought was very funny. They actually like put a quote from the movie, like, hey, remember this quote? Jump to this scene. There you go. Newsreel footage of behind-the-scenes excerpts of the film's production. Very cool. Footage of the 1962 premiere at New York's Criterion Theater. Very cool. I did not know Criterion had its own theater. 30 years later, footage of the 1989 restoration premiere. Wind, Sand, and Stars, a featurette documenting the production. And yeah, widescreen format. Every single one of these is widescreen format, and they had to place that on there because that was very rare to get in the 90s when Laserdiscs were a big thing. Next one, probably the one I was like most shocked that got a Criterion release, and I wish they would come out with a 4K in Criterion. That's Blade Runner, folks. Number 19 at Blade Runner, one of the first. Very, very cool. There's not a lot of special features on this one. There's a collection of original illustrations from Sid Mead, and there's like notes, scene by scene analysis of the film. But yeah, there's Blade Runner. Open this sucker up. There's the inside. A couple of cool production shots right in there. There we go. Once I get done with the laser discs, I have 2 more. I'll get back to your comments, people. Do I have the Laserdisc of Scream? I don't think it was the Laserdisc. I did just get the Laserdisc of Scream, though. Fun fact. Also fun. I will make a totally different video on the Laserdiscs I just picked up because on my YouTube page, that's the stuff that's like my most watched video is the last Laserdisc lot that I bought. I found Scream, and it said Scream Director's Cut. And I've never heard of a Scream Director's Cut. So I am very excited. No, this is not pre recorded, but it will be on my podcast. Laserdisc Nightmare on Elm Street, I don't, but I wish. The next Laserdisc I do have of Criterion, this is number 349, and this is David Cronenberg's Crash. I have not seen this movie. I need to. I know that there's a gorgeous 4K restoration already out there, but I kind of just want to watch this because I have it. Does this one open up? It does. Let's see that beautiful inside footage of Crash. I've heard this is very messed up, and I don't really know what I'm getting myself into. They like to hurt themselves, and it's like a fucked up romance movie. That's all I know. The last one I have to show off is probably my favorite of the Criterions that I do have because I absolutely adore this movie. And if you have not seen The Producers, please do this. Mel Brooks' first movie, if I remember correctly, and God, it's probably his best. I love this movie so much. And there's no special features on here, which absolutely sucks. There's the trailer and then widescreen. That's a little disappointing. The Producers is number 36 in that collection. But yeah, that does it for all of the laser discs. That's just part one of the 4 parts that I do have. I didn't split up Blu-ray and 4K. I just kind of mixed those together. But I do have standard boxes and the big beefy box sets. But let's see here. Let's go to some more of your comments. Right now, I am recording on YouTube and I am recording on TikTok. So there's 2 different question threads that I can read. Movie Hunter, you think Criterion is the oldest boutique label? Yes, I believe it is as well. I want to say it started 89. It might be early 90s. I thought it hit 89. I got 2 months off the Groove, 2 movies off the Groove sale. You got V for Vendetta Blu-ray Steelbook. Nice looking one. And you got Space Jam: A New Legacy. Don't like that movie. I don't like the Steelbook either. I think it's pretty bland and basic. But V for Vendetta, very good one. You only have one Vinegar Syndrome title. Some of their titles I like. Some of them you do not like. That's why nobody wants to talk with me about them. Because they talk a big game. They're like, oh yeah, they're coming out with all these horror movies that no one would ever release. Maybe they shouldn't get released. Maybe nobody wants to touch these suckers for a reason because they're turd sandwiches. Okay. You really want to get that Prophecy trilogy. I mean, I did not start collecting Vinegar Syndrome until this year, and I'm looking at my shelf and I have more Vinegar Syndrome titles than I do Criterion. So I am bad mouthing, but I shouldn't because I am just as pathetic. Absolutely. And what is a Laserdisc? It's like a record player for movies. A Laserdisc, imagine a CD, but the size of a vinyl. It's huge. There's a huge player that plays it as well. This came before DVDs, a good chunk before. I would say DVDs were 96, 97. These came out in 92, 93, somewhere around there. I'm not 1,000% sure, but somewhere around there. You only have 2 Criterion releases, The War of the Worlds and Godzilla Shows Era Collection. I don't have that Godzilla one. I wouldn't know where to put it in my collection. It looks like a giant book, not even a normal sized book, a giant book, bigger, 2 of my heads put together, and I've got a big ass head. Bro is not reading the chat. I'm reading YouTube, and then I'm going to be reading over here on TikTok. Thoughts on Malignant? Don't like it. I wish I did. I know a lot of people love that movie. I did not like it. Do you think Criterion should sell more titles outside of the US more often? Of course, yes. I do. That's why I like how they're finally doing 4Ks, because all their 4Ks are region free. So if people want to get them that don't live in the US, they can, and they can play them. Have I seen the Marvels? No, I haven't. I've seen every single MCU movie in theaters. The Marvels is the first one where I'm like, I can wait. I can wait for Disney Plus to watch this one. Thank you for the TikToks, MGB. Appreciate that, man, as always. Do I have World War Z? I do. I will show off that stuff later. You love my content. Thank you, Jake Rewind. Appreciate that. We did Laserdisc to start out with, so I got to go back in time, right? Let's do some DVDs. This is where I first saw what Criterions were. I worked at Hollywood Video when it closed down, so I was able to raid their Criterions a little bit. Hindsight being 2020, I wish I would have rated a lot more than what I did, and I wish I would have rated more Blu-rays. But I got a couple to where I was shocked after doing more research into them. Like, why does this movie have a release on Criterion, and why did some only stop on the DVD format? Here's one that I'm like, how did this slip through the cracks? I was gonna say every number, but I can't see because the stickers are in the way. Criterion section, we still got that beautiful Hollywood video. Criterion starts with an R, folks. It's The Rock. What? Michael Bay's The Rock. What are you doing in this Criterion section, Rock? I mean, personally, I love it. I love this movie. I love how absolutely dumb it is. Here's the inside. Nothing too crazy. Just the movie and the supplemental materials are in here. They call it the vault. There's a lot of very cool stuff in here as well. There's storyboards, trailers, outtakes, the Rock world premiere at Alcatraz. I kind of want to watch that. Video essays, analysis, movie magic episode on the film's special effects. A lot of cool stuff. That's what made me fall in love with Criterion in the first place. And why I really love collecting physical media is the bonus features, the special goodies that are nice to have when you're done watching the movie and you don't have to search for them on YouTube or anything like that. They're just here and ready to go. I have a beautiful collection. Thank you very much, Jose. Such a strange pick for Disney to give to them. Kind of agreed, man. Let's see here. The Silence of the Lambs is the only Criterion you want the most. It's your second favorite movie of all time, and it's a requirement for the collection. Silence of the Lambs is a good one. Spoilers, I do have that, and I will get to that shortly. Criterion's first Laserdisc were King Kong. Wow, Criterion and Laserdiscs were in the 80s. 84, says Movie Hunter. Thank you for doing the hard-hitting research that I probably should have. King Kong and Citizen Kane. I know Citizen Kane is number one, because when they re-released the 4K, it was still number one. I think it was number 1,000 or something like that. 1984. That is nuts. The more you know. Very cool. Finally, just a few days away from the Scott Pilgrim anime. Also, hello, Steelbook Obsessed. Hello, Hybrid Sammy. And yes, I cannot wait for that sucker to hit Netflix. Bro, how do you afford so many movies? Budget. You definitely have to budget for it for sure. You know what? You talked about Silence of the Lambs. I have Silence of the Lambs. Number 13 in the set. Here it is. Got the DVD right here. This is probably like the third or fourth edition of Silence of the Lambs I own. You have to own so many. And while I say that, it's like popping out of the disc, getting all scratched up and whatnot. I believe I found this one at a garage sale. Either garage sale or like a thrift store. I found it very cheap. It was like $1. And at that price, I'm like, yeah, I'll add that. And then I saw it was Criterion a little bit later. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely getting that. To be honest, not a lot of special features on here. Voices of Death, word-for-word statements of convicted serial killers is the one that like pops out to me the most. The rest of them are kind of plain Jane. And there have been better supplemental material in like the Kino Lorber 4K. But yeah, there is Silence of the Lambs. Next up, here's a movie that I know 1,000% how I got it. It was at Goodwill, and I saw it. Came from a library because we have like the DVD thing right there. Again, I can't see the number. Jabberwocky. This is Terry Gilliam, and I don't know anything else about it. Made in 1977. That's one fun thing about collecting for labels, though, especially Criterion. If any movie got released on the Criterion Collection, you are in good hands. It's like, oh, hey, if I'm going to blind watch a movie, anything from the Criterion Collection, I will more or less at least appreciate. Even if I don't like, I'm like, at least I didn't waste my time with anything. It's got like writing Sharpie numbers on it because it was a library copy. The Ames Public Library, Ames, Iowa. Go Cyclones. Am I right? Yeah, I don't know anything about this. If you do, let me know in the comments and I'll read it. Because I literally don't know a dang thing about it. It's got a dragon on the cover, and the dragon looks very funky. Next up, let's go a movie that I need to watch because I'll get to another Linklater set that I have that I watched this year for the first time. Absolutely fell in love with. I need to rewatch Slacker, or I need to watch for the first time Slacker. Richard Linklater. I love the packaging that Criterion does because they go so like balls to the wall with box sets, especially like the plain Jane sets are fine or whatever. They're there. But what I fell in love with Criterion about are these nice beefy box sets. Should I open up each one and show you? That's going to take forever, but I feel like just to say that I did, I should. You know what I'm saying? Just to say that I did, I should. Here is the cover art here. Open it up. Slacker, I know, was made for a budget, a very tiny budget. It was like $12,000, $15,000. This is the movie that Kevin Smith saw that made him feel like he could make his movie of his own, Clerks. Comes with a booklet here. There's the front. There's the back. I'm not gonna. I don't like when people like flip through stuff because you can't see anything. You see it for like a split second, so I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, and that's one thing I wish that these boutique labels would get away from. I wish that more of them would put actual physical goodies in their sets and not books, because I have to really, really, really love the movie in order to actually read the booklet from that movie. Slacker might be one that I'd get a lot of useful information about. I'd rather just watch a special feature on the making of and get that information though. Let's see here. The next one. Again, sometimes I buy Criterions because I know that I need to watch a certain movie. Here is one of those. Truman Capote's In Cold Blood, 1967, number 781. I forgot to do the number of Slacker. That was number 247. This was made in 1967. I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about this, but since I don't know a lot about it, I will just go through it very quickly. There is In Cold Blood. Next movie I do know quite a bit about. I love this documentary a lot. Sports documentary. I like myself a good sports movie. Probably one of the best sports documentaries I've ever seen. Hoop Dreams. If you've never seen it, it's a sign. It's definitely like a time capsule of the 90s. When was this made? Like 93, 94. This movie's great. It just follows a few kids and just to see if they are able to make it to college playing the sport that they love. And if you have not seen this, highly recommend it. I know that Siskel and Ebert was like in their top 10 movies of 94, and 94 was a stacked movie year. So yeah, that's. And there's a Siskel and Ebert tracking the acclaim for Hoop Dreams on here, so that's very cool as well. Next up, a movie I have heard of, but I know nothing about. This is number 795 in the Criterion Collection. Rita Hayworth as Gilda. Don't know anything about it. Gilda. This is definitely a movie that I bought in a lot. And if you get a Criterion thrown in a movie lot that you buy, you can't say no, and you're always excited. Ooh, this one comes with a poster. That's rare for a Criterion. Normally, that's like a Visual Vengeance thing. Let's show off this poster. And it kind of makes sense. I'm assuming that she's some sort of pinup in this movie. Gilda. And instead of a book, on the backside of this, they just have an essay. See, I like the inventiveness of this instead of just like a booklet. I like the pinup of Gilda because I'm assuming that's what this movie's about. But again, I don't know. Where's Tim Talks Talkies when you need him? Guest on the podcast. And I feel like he would be able to school me on a lot of these releases I know little to nothing about. Let's see here. Oh my God, The Rock on Criterion. Is that still available to get on Criterion? Unfortunately, it's not. A lot of these releases, they don't want, I want to say like the rights revert back to somebody else, or they just don't like re-up them to put them out on Blu-ray or 4K. So unfortunately, The Rock on DVD is the only way you can get it on Criterion. How old are those DVD Criterions? 90s, for sure. 90s or 2000s. You didn't know Criterion had Laserdisc? Yep. I didn't know that until earlier this year. I have a DVD Criterion that doesn't have a Blu-ray or 4K yet called Sweet Movie. Is that a badass? Badass sweet back, something like that? I think that's what you're talking about. I can only think of like 3 films. G.I. Joe cartoon, the movie. Don't know what you're talking about. Okay, let's keep on going. A movie I absolutely love. If you have not seen it, Highly recommend it. I was born in the year 1989. Brother, Another Summer, Sound of the Funky Drummer, Do the Right Thing, a Spike Lee joint. This movie is still it. I haven't seen it in like 10 years, but it's still like I've seen it to this day because of how memorable it is, how unique it's shot. I feel like the social commentary still rings true today. Yeah, if you have not seen Do the Right Thing, highly, highly recommended. Again, this is another one that I got from Hollywood Video. It's got the stickers all over the place. So I can't tell you the number because unfortunately they put the D, like they alphabetize, and that's why I alphabetize my collection because that's just how I was ingrained when I worked there. But they put it right over the number. Just put it like a little bit more up. That drives me a little nuts. This has a ton of special features on it. A 60-minute documentary of the making of Do the Right Thing. Public Enemy's video, Fight the Power. Very good. It's just Rosie Perez dancing. Good stuff. Next up, Greg Mottola directed movie that I have not seen. I haven't seen a lot of his work. I want to say he directed Adventureland. Greg Mottola, I think. The Day Trippers. The Day Trippers. Couldn't tell you a dang thing about this either. Droll humor, though. It's his feature-length debut. It's got Stanley Tucci. It's got the Tooch. It's got Hope Davis in it. Parker Posey, Liev Schreiber. Okay. You got my attention. And I like the cover artwork on here a lot as well. Again, just nice for you guys listening on here. Just a lot of like cell-shaded animation. But I know this isn't what the movie is. Ooh, it's got a audio commentary with Steven Soderbergh, who is a producer on here. Riddle me intrigued. Next up, you thought that The Rock was a stretch for the Criterion Collection. What if I told you that number 40, very, very early on in the Criterion Collection, Armageddon snuck its way in? What? A Criterion Collection of Armageddon? What's going on here? I feel like this is Criterion figuring itself out. These are the teenage years of Armageddon. They didn't know what they wanted to be. Okay, you definitely don't want to be in Michael Bay's camp if you want quality stuff. But I will say, the main reason why I got this is because of the commentary that's on it. Ben Affleck gets batshit drunk and he talks shit about the movie to Michael Bay about how some things don't make sense in the plot, and Michael Bay gets so mad at him. It is hilarious. There's a Michael Bay gag reel on here. But yeah, the main reason why I got this is for the commentary. I mean, Armageddon's a fun enough movie, but it's dumb fun, definitely. Armageddon is a guilty pleasure movie that you cannot turn down. I kind of fall into that camp as well, man, for sure. Do I have the Christine Steelbook? I do, but I'm just showing Criterion right now. You have to check and see if your library has Criterion movies to rent. More often than not, they do. I know the library next to me has a few. I think that was a big thing back in like the early 2000s when DVDs were like really booming, is that they bought quite a few Criterion because a lot of the classics are on there. A movie that's not a classic to most, it's a classic to me. It's a movie that I grew up with. We got Chasing Amy. Yes, Kevin Smith's Chasing Amy, number 75. I know this one had a Laserdisc release as well. I want to get that in the collection so bad. But there are a lot of cool special features in here. I want to say the booklet. Yeah, the booklet looks like the comic book that they wrote at the very end, Chasing Me. Very, very cool stuff. Yeah. I feel like enough people talk about this. I think I liked it more in my teenage years than I do now, but it's still pretty dang solid. I will say that. And yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's an all right watch. It's definitely 90s, very, very 90s. It has not aged the best, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Here's a movie that I've only watched once in my life, and I feel like the watch that I had, I'm never going to be able to beat on a rewatch. Number 175 in the collection, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I had a very fun time that I will not talk about. So, yeah, there it is outside of its cover. Look at that slip. It's a nice clear slip. Got a lot of cool stuff in here. There's the disc, the booklet looking mighty nice. Got some Benicio del Toro on disc number 2. And yeah, I don't know what I can say about Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas that hasn't been said already. If you haven't seen it and you like weird stuff, give it a shot. Give it a shot. Terry Gilliam, there's a lot of his stuff in the Criterion Collection. And he's a very, very varied director. I put this in the wrong way. Look how I did that. I can't do that. I got to have the faces in there, which sucks because then you have to have like this part sticking out. Packaging, you crazy. I guess I don't mind the way the title is on this spine here. Never mind. I take that back. Let's see here. We have 3 more DVDs to go through, and then we'll start the Blu-rays. First one up here, Henry Fonda, a John Ford movie. One of my blind spots in life is like the Western genre in general. I still have the Goodwill sticker on this sucker. My Darling Clementine. Could not tell you a thing about this. 1946, black and white. It's from a 4K digital restoration, which is very cool. It has one of my favorite special features that you could possibly put on a disc is putting an entirely different movie on in your special features. This one has Bandit's Wager, a 1916 silent Western short, co-starring Ford and directed by his brother, Francis Ford. Very cool. I love stuff like that. If I can buy one movie and log it twice on Letterboxd as 2 different movies, yeah, I'm all in for that. More bang for your buck, you know what I'm saying? My Darling Clementine. The last 2 I have for DVDs, again, I want to say at least one of these. Yeah, one of these I bought when Hollywood Video was going out of sale. It's Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson is all over the Criterion Collection and my personal Criterion Collection. Here's the movie that I like the best from him that I know I need to upgrade to Blu-ray at some point. It is Rushmore. I've seen this movie 4 or 5 times. Every time I love it more and more. I think it's very, very solid. There's the disc. Not a lot more in here. If you are kind of thrown off by Wes Anderson's style, he's very unique. But I would say that Rushmore is like the movie to be like to get the normies in the Wes Anderson circle. Try what Rushmore. I think it holds up very good. If you want some more weird, but not super weird, we also have the Royal Tenenbaums. A movie that I've only seen once and I need to rewatch. I remember absolutely loving it. Yeah, there's a star-studded cast on this sucker. This one has a very beautiful slipcover with some different artwork on the inside as well. Some more like hand-drawn Wes Anderson-esque illustrations. And all over Wes Anderson's Criterion stuff is these just different his style of illustration. I don't know how else to say it. It's not very descriptive for the podcast listeners, but that's all I can do. The discs say radiogram sure to ship on there. There's a lot of supplemental material on this sucker. Outtakes, video interviews, commentaries, trailers, the art of the movie. Just a lot of cool stuff. But with that, we got through the laser discs and now we got through the DVD. So now we're on the bread and butter. The Blu-rays and 4Ks. I have all of these mixed together because my brain works alphabetically and not by format, at least with Blu-rays and 4Ks. Tucker is trying to get every Wes Anderson film on Criterion. I have most. I do have most, and I'll show them off here shortly. What's the one movie I have in every format? Oof. I'm trying to think of like Laserdisc here. That's a tough one that I can't think of. I want to say Speed. Keanu and Speed, because I have that on VHS. I know that. I have that on Laserdisc. I know that. I have that on Blu-ray and 4K. DVD I might not have, but I think that's fine. Chasing Amy's better than Dogma. I could see that. I could see the argument. Probably a coin flip for me, to be honest. If I can name the first city on Mars, what would you name it? I don't know. That's above my pay grade, man. That's Kevin Smith's best movie, Chasing Amy. Okay. Do I have Solo? I don't have Solo because, I've heard too many fucked up things about Solo. I don't need to watch that. I'm okay if I never watch that. Your library has Criterion. Yay! OMFG. You want that Armageddon Criterion? You wish Disney would let Criterion have the rights back to it and get a 4K? I would think that Disney now, especially with the news today, this is going to timestamp this podcast. That's okay. Michael Bay announced 4Ks finally of True Lies and Aliens and The Abyss. I would think it, with being Fox and all that jazz. I know The Rock and I know that Armageddon were Buena Vista Entertainment releases, which is Disney. I would think Michael Bay would want those suckers on 4K as well, and I really don't see them getting Criterion releases. It would be funny. I personally, I would love to see it, get the whole gang back together, do a commentary where they listen to the commentary on Armageddon. That would be hilarious. Is that the movie with Johnny Depp, Fear and Loathing? Yes, it is. Just got Moonrise Kingdom and Grand Budapest from Criterion. Wes is one of the kings. Yeah. Asteroid City, King might have lost his crown personally for me, but yes, he definitely has a style and is a beast on his own right. Hey there, Steelbook. Do I have Fantastic Planet? I do not. But I will show off what I do have. Let's start with the fun box sets, because this is going to be the thing that takes the most amount of time to show off. So I might as well front load this stuff and kind of speed through the regular cases. I'll go in alphabetical order here, so hopefully when I put it back on the shelf, it'll be very easy for me to do. Easier said than done. But let's start with a movie that I saw in college. I fell in love with, love the band. This is the Beatles, A Hard Day's Night. I haven't listened to that new song that they just came out with. Can't even remember what it's called. They used AI to make a Beatles song. That sounds terrible to me. So I have not seen that. I know it's on Disney Plus. They did a whole spiel about it, whatever. Hard Day's Night. Very, very solid. Black and white movie, which a lot of people scoff at. I think this still holds up to this day. Just Beatlemania running wild. 87 minutes, 1964, number 711. I did not do the last couple numbers, did I? Let's see. Royal Tenenbaums was 157, and I can't tell you Rushmore's number. My Darling Clementine was 732. I think I did all of them. Let's dig into this box set of A Hard Day's Night. Richard Lester movie. Oops, it goes out this way. That's why I couldn't open it. Hard Day's Night in bold letters. The Fab Four right here on the back cover. You open it up. Got a huge beefy book. Look at that sucker. That is nuts. The discs are all boldly fonted as well. Pretty solid release. And this sucker has a lot of cool special features in it as well. Again, this is like one of the first Criterions I ever purchased. Once I figured out that they had a 50% off sale every year, it's like one of the first ones that I bought from that sale. Also, in the comments, if you want to let me know what you've picked up this November on this Criterion half off sale, let me know, because I'm always interested. I have not hit it up yet. Again, I've bought more Laserdiscs than I have actual 50% off stuff, but I do plan on going there probably after Thanksgiving. Next up, a set I finally watched the last time they had a 50% off sale back in May, I think is when it was. I wanted this set for the longest time. I finally bought this set. And then some random day in like August, I'm like, I feel like I want to watch these. I finally got around to watching the Before trilogy. If there's anybody that loves these movies, let's do a podcast about this trilogy, because I got a lot to say. This is in the runnings of my favorite trilogy of all time. And I'm not a big romance guy. I'm not a big, I don't know. That type of genre doesn't really ring true to me too much at all. But this, man, it's amazing. It's Ethan Hawke. It's Julie Delpy. It's just them figuring themselves out, figuring each other out, having conversations that you are just drawn into. I cannot tell you how much I loved watching each and every one of these. Here's Before Sunrise, where they meet and they're in their 20s. Very, very cool. I don't want to like ruin anything for you, because I just knew it was like a romance movie. It's a lot more than that, but at its basic core, that's what it is. It's also like atmospheric. It draws you into the locations that they're in as well. Richard Linklater directed all three of these. I know that they've kind of talked about making a fourth. I kind of hope they don't, even though I could see them just jumping in every 10 years and making a new movie, and I would not be upset, and I would definitely look at it. But as a trilogy, this thing just sings. Before Sunset, the shortest one, this is 80 minutes long, and I like Sunrise, Sunset, Midnight in that order, but all three of them are phenomenal. I gave both Sunrise and Sunset a 4.5 out of 5. I don't know. There's just, I don't want to spoil too much, but just seeing the development of their relationship is very rewarding. And I would not have thought that beforehand when I just heard about it, but there's not enough good things to say personally about this. And again, if people want to talk about it, if there's one person listening to this that wants to talk my ear off about the Before trilogy, I will. There's so many good special features in this set as well. A lot of making ofs. The third one, Before Midnight. One thing I should say, let's see here. The first one was 95, the second one was 2004, and the third one was 2013. So it's like looking at how people change, how relationships change, how you grow and separate as a person or as a couple, as a unit every 10 years. It's so fascinating, especially the older I get. I'm 34 years old, and just thinking about stuff I did in like my teens and my 20s and how different I acted, I think this set just hit at the right time. I don't know. I could talk about this forever, but I won't. That can be its own separate podcast. All right. Let's go on to another Wes Anderson movie, shall we? Here is his first movie, Bottle Rocket. I'm indifferent on this. I think it's fine. I do think it's fine. But what did I say earlier? I love it when my special features give me movies, give me other movies packed inside here. This also includes the short film of Bottle Rocket, which he turned into the theatrical film. And it also stars Owen Wilson, I believe. I liked the short film better than I liked the theatrical film. Both of them are solid, though. Both of them are not too shabby. Wes Anderson Criterions, they have a look, they have an aesthetic to them for sure. I like it when, at least if you're going to put a book in here, theme it towards something in the movie. We'll get to a box set that does that in spades. This one doesn't do a bad job at it either. The 75-year plan notebook is what the booklet is in here. Very, very cool stuff. Let's see here. What kind of comments do you guys have? Do I like or have Friday the 13th? I love Friday the 13th. I have that Scream Factory box set. Do I have the Shameless series? No, but I have seen every episode, and it's great. Love Linklater multi-year movies. Yes, Boyhood. Did Boyhood come out in Criterion? I don't have that. I have the Mondo Steel book. You just got Blowout on Criterion? Nice choice. Linklater has so much range. Absolutely, he does. So far, you picked up Moonstruck. I want to hold my hand. I want to hold your hand and A Face in the Crowd. I don't have any of those. There's so many movies in the Criterion Collection. What? They're up to number like 1,200 now. There's so many. Let's see here. Just got Moonrise Kingdom and Grand Budapest from Criterion. Wes is one of the kings. Absolutely, he is Cameron. Hey there, Steelbook. Do I have Fantastic Planet? I've already read that. The latest movie pickup was Paranormal Activity Next of Kin for $5, released on Paramount Plus. Me and my grandma watched it together and really enjoyed it. I have let's see here. I will pan down a little bit. That hand right there is the Paranormal Activity box set. It's got every single movie in it, and I haven't watched that one yet. I will get around to it. I think next Spooky Dookie season, I'm going to marathon all of the Paranormal Activity films. This year, I did all of the VHS anthology series. It was James Cameron that announced the movies today, Aliens and True Lies. Yeah, I know Armageddon and Michael Bay or Armageddon and The Rock are from Michael Bay. They're all owned by Disney. So if Cameron finally got that done, I could see Bay going back into the vault and releasing them. I just don't know if it's going to be Criterion, but I would love it. I'm going to hit the Criterion sale next year because you're broke right now. I feel you there, man. The Twilight 4K Steelbook box set. Yeah, that sucker does look very, very nice. Boyhood is on Criterion. I thought so. What's cracking, buddy? Nothing, Mr. Nichols. I'm just showing off some Criterion. Here's the next one. I feel like this is right up your alley, Mr. Nichols. Am I right? Dazed and Confused. More Linklater in my life. Love this movie. I want to say, besides the Hollywood video movies that I bought, this is the first one I actually had in my collection because I liked it. I was in college. Of course, you're going to like Dazed and Confused. You know what I'm saying? I like the packaging here. There's a whole bunch of bubbles, and this thing is double-sided. So technically, you can change the picture that you put in the bubbles in the front, which is very cool. But you pull it out of the slip, and there are still more images inside the bubbles. Just very nice. I'm a bubble boy. I love me my bubbles. This one comes with a notebook that kind of looks like something you would doodle on in high school. And this is the booklet that goes over the essays and whatnot. It also comes with a very cool poster. One thing, like if you're going to put a poster in your release, please, 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 for the love of God, put different artwork on there that's not like the front cover of the movie I just bought. Scream Factory, Arrow Video, I'm talking to you. Criterion, yes. Look at that lovely, lovely poster. This has to be like the original poster that was released when this movie got released. I love this poster. This poster is noise. Let's put this back. What are you trying to say, Mr. Nichols? I'm saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. Have you found Dogma Blu-ray? I will buy it from you. I know I've been talking with you for months about that. Oops, forgot to put the booklet away. Any Laserdisc? I already showed them off earlier. If you want to watch that, this will be on my YouTube channel as well. Watch the replay. What will you do when media does finish in shops? I'll buy them online. That's how I buy the majority of my physical media now anyway. It is going away from Best Buy, which, I mean, worse things have happened. It sucks. This will be the last Black Friday where I can actually shop at Best Buy in retail. I shot a video on that yesterday. It should be out tomorrow if you want to watch that. I make 90-second shorts about different physical media, movie-related stuff. Yeah, it's kind of like a reminiscing journey that I did when I was just kind of scrolling through stuff, because I've done that for years now. Almost a decade I've Black Friday shopped for physical media at Best Buy. And now that that's going away, I don't know, just very, very, very sad. You had the Godzilla set, 1000, until my son confiscated it for his collection. Yeah, I mean, that Godzilla set for 1000, they definitely showed up, did they not? That set is a beefy boy. I'm not the biggest Godzilla fan, so I have not picked it up yet, and I wouldn't know where to put it in my set even if I did. Best Buy was the best place for physical DVDs, especially this time of year. Yes, go there now because this is the last time you're going to do it, and they do have some really good deals too. Here's the next one, number 547 and 548. Dazed and Confused was number 336. This one, I found somewhere. I want to say I found this at Goodwill as well. Drive, he said, and A Safe Place. No, I found this at Half Price Books. Excuse me. This was $10. I want to say this goes into a different set, but I was never going to buy that set, so I bought this because these are movies that are directed by Jack Nicholson, and that intrigues me. I literally know nothing about them. Drive, he said, is Jack Nicholson. I'm sorry. A Safe Place is Henry Jaglom. Never heard of it. Main reason why I bought this, it was $10. I want to watch a movie directed by Jack Nicholson because he is one of the greats. And that's about all I have to say about this because I know nothing about it. Next up, another Wes Anderson. This will be a theme, folks. His box sets are great. Fantastic Mr. Fox. God, second or third, definitely top three Wes Anderson for me. I love this movie so much. I love the cuss out of it. This packaging is very minimalistic, but it's definitely on tone with how the movie looks. Here's the inside, more just simplistic artwork. And this one comes with, I put the J card on the booklet because I didn't want to ruin the aesthetic that is on the cover. And here's just what the book looks like again. I love stop motion animation. It is one of my favorite things to watch. And I don't think this, I know it has a making of, but I wish it had like a stop motion making of, like showing them like quickly putting stuff together. That's like something that I could watch on a loop forever and never get sick of. But Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's very, very, very good. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend. Next up, going back to Wes Anderson town. A movie that I've only seen this twice, but I do appreciate it more the second watch. The Grand Budapest Hotel. It's good. The first time I was like, this is a little slow, a little boring. Second time around, I do enjoy it quite a bit. God, just wow, very wallpaper-esque on the inside. We have a romantic poetry booklet that has just a lot of, it folds out. Look at that. a lot of different like newspaper clippings of sorts. Local girl's head. Okay, there's like one more panel I need to show off. There's the front. Here is the back. Just a lot of excerpts and pictures and whatnot. And then I gotta fold this. This is literally like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a 10-page fold out. Very cool. We got another booklet. This one has a lot of just essays about the movie and whatnot. And then it has a poster, and this, I gave you credit. I gave you credit, Criterion, and then you do this to me. You give me just the same artwork that's on the case of the stuff I just frickin' bought. Who has this hanging up in their house? Nobody. Who has this folded up in their set? Everybody. And I'm probably the 10th person in the entire world who has actually opened this up and looked at it. Let's put this away. While I do, I will read some of your comments. You have Dazed and Confused on 4K. It's a very good, yeah, that's just a Blu-ray that I have because the 4K set looks exactly the same packaging-wise. That's one thing that a lot of these Scream Factory boutique labels are doing is releasing the same movie with the same packaging, but with a 4K disc instead of a Blu-ray. Very cool for the people that don't have it. Very uncool for the people that do. I'm looking for a reason to upgrade that Dazed and Confused, and you didn't give me one, which sucks. Tucker has the poster up on your wall. Well, you made me look like a fool, man. Looks like a diary. Very cool. Absolutely. You didn't know I had a YouTube channel? Yes, Chris Boss. If nobody else knows I have a YouTube channel, go to my YouTube. That's the account I'm trying to grow the most. I'm trying to grow everything, but I'm focusing on YouTube. Thank you for the people that are watching this now. Did I watch Mad God Mr. Nichols? I did, and I did not like it. He's also not a fan of Wes Anderson. I totally get that. Am I shadow banned or something? Every message you've sent gets ignored? Sorry, Crack. No. Best Buy is the best place. Okay, so I've read all of those over there. Do I have Drive? Yes. The second site 4K transfer of Drive is like one of the best transfers I've ever seen. But let's get to a movie that is super long and super... the word is escaping me, which is very embarrassing. It's celebrity based, and it just like that's what this movie is. A whole bunch of celebrities and character actors running amok. It's a mad world. Did I say 1, 2, mad? Yeah, just 4 mads, not 5 mads. It's a mad world. I've not seen this thing all the way through, but this set is a cool one because this sucker opens up. Gotta get that booklet out. One bad thing about Criterion releases, the books just slop all over the place. They just flip and flop and do their own thing. But let's show a close-up of this amazing artwork because it spans, folks. And I bought this set because it is so dang beefy. It's huge. And if I flip to the other side, I'll show you why. It's got 5 discs in it. That is amazing for a movie like this. Disc 1 is the 4K digital transfer. Disc 2 is a digital transfer of the 197-minute extended version of the film. There's 2 Blu-rays and 3 DVDs in this sucker. Very, very cool to see. Here's the booklet. A physical goodie. Here we go. Something that makes physical media just stand out. This is a map of kind of where they go. And the legend kind of shows parts of the movie. This is stuff that I like to see. But this next release has like very, very good physical goodies. Some of the best I have in my collection, and a prime example of when releases try, it can like really expand on your experience watching a movie, experiencing everything that it has to offer. I will be talking about this with Movies with Ryan in a few weeks. Noah Baumbach's Marriage Story. Absolutely love this movie. I guess I do like romance or relationship movies because I love the Before trilogy. I love Marriage Story. Very, very solid stuff. I also love that streaming movies, this is from Netflix, get physical releases on Criterion. I have a couple more of those in my collection that I will show off. We got Adam Driver. We got ScarJo. We got them fighting on here. Fighting over the love of their kid. But, like I said, why do I love physical media? Because I can have physical goodies in here. As you can see here, It has replicas of the two letters that they write to one another. I love this so much because these play very crucial roles into the plot, and you can read every single thing in this replica note that they wrote. You take it out, you can see who wrote what. That's from Charlie. The other one's from Nicole. I'm not going to show it because it's just more writing, but it's so cool and adds so much to the release. It's stuff like this. As soon as I saw that it had letters in there, that was all I needed to actually like add this to my collection for sure. You just bought the Todd Browning Freaks collection on Criterion. I've heard good things about it. You got Rise of the Foot Soldier Mate. I don't believe I do. House of the Dragon I have, but I'm not showing that now. Okay, let's continue going down this road. I've done half of my like fancy box sets. Let's call them fancy. I know they have a better name than that. I cannot think of it off the top of my head. Is this the last Wes Anderson I have in my collection? I believe so. Let's go out on a high note. Love this movie so much. Probably my second favorite Wes Anderson. I like this better than Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's close with Rushmore, but not quite there. Moonrise Kingdom. I adore this movie a lot. The camp aesthetic really does things for me. Here, you open it up. It kind of looks like a pamphlet, a camp guide. That's what I'm looking for. The cast is amazing, as always. There's a lot of good extras in here. I forgot. Raccoon is on the disc. In here, a lot of physical goodies, folks. We have an Indian corn scout guide. For khaki scouts everywhere. 1965, 25 cents. Just really went all out. Here are some of like the different essential materials in here. What is this? This is Summer Pageant, a replica of the summer pageant that they go to in the movie. Very cool. Put that back in there. We have a map, which also plays a crucial role in this movie if you have not seen it. It's double-sided. Am I holding it up backwards? No, I'm holding it up the right way. There's this and this. Put that back in here. And then the last thing that they had is like an old school picture that looks like it's from the time, which I absolutely adore as well. Again, man, the physical goodies and physical media I could gush about all dang day. They had so much to release. Here, this next one is a movie that I'm embarrassed I haven't seen because I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about it. I know I finally just need to watch it. Is Kill Bill coming to 4K? I've heard rumors. I want to say Lionsgate has the rights and it's in the works. Can anyone see my messages? Because this is getting ridiculous. I saw it, man. I saw it. A movie I haven't seen and I need to. Marlon Brando, On the Waterfront. I've heard phenomenal things about this. I love boxing movies, so I don't know why I haven't seen this yet. I've owned this in my collection for 7-8 years, and I just have not popped it in. Don't know why. I know I need to. Here's the booklet. Here's the discs. Let me know in the comments if it's any good. I know it is, but I want to know like somebody else's experience on this as well. Okay. Any idea on the Oppenheimer Steelbook? Yes, it's coming out later this month. Princess Bride, my favorite Criterion I have in my collection, packaging-wise. This thing knocks it out of the park because it looks and feels like a storybook. If you get a nice zoom in there, you can kind of see it's like a felty material almost. This is the Blu-ray version. I did not get the 4K because, again, the packaging is the exact same. And actually, the Blu-ray is skinnier than the 4K. That's the only thing that I've noticed. On the inside, it actually has the story of the Princess Bride, which is phenomenal. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then the disc is right here. And what can you say about the Princess Bride that hasn't been said? It's a classic for a reason. Good stuff. This movie I wanted to like, and I don't. And I don't know why I didn't. I don't know if I just watched it and I wasn't a fan. I was too tired. People have gushed to me about this movie and I probably need to rewatch it. David Cronenberg's Scanners. I mean, the head explosion is very cool, but then the rest of it is just a slog to me. This packaging, there's very, very amazing artwork on here. Front, back, front, back. For you people listening to it, it's kind of doing the whole head thing. It's going from a normal person to his head almost exploding. It's got like some x-rays of his brain and spine and veins and stuff. On the inside, we have like the sound waves going on here. Nice release. They don't make this particular release anymore. They changed this up to just the standard box, the standard case, which is unfortunate because this box set is a beaut. And then this is number 712. I don't think I've said the past like 8 numbers. Princess Bride, 948. On the Waterfront, 647. Moonrise Kingdom, 776. Marriage Story, 1038. It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, 692. Grand Budapest Hotel, 1025. And Fantastic Mr. Fox, number 700. Let's go with my most recent in the collection. Probably close. Yeah, most recent. Love this movie. Have not seen the 4K transfer yet, even though I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about it. Thelma and Louise. This is one that I bought this summer when it was on sale. This release is gorgeous. I will say that. Just kind of opening up here. Nice one shot of them driving into the proverbial sunset. The booklet here is just the script of Thelma and Louise. The inside is a little lackluster. The majority of Criterion discs just have like that classic C Criterion logo on here. And yeah, this is one that I need to rewatch again. I just need to find time to do it. Ridley Scott, baby. Another one that has phenomenal packaging, man. Very, 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 very good stuff. A24 making their way onto Criterion. Love to see it. We got Uncut Gems. This is Uncut Gems. And I love the prism effect that is on here. There's so much like rainbow pops anytime you put it into different light. And it's all over the place. It's on the spine. It's on the letters on the back, which they did not need to do, but I absolutely love that they did. Every ounce of this release is just packed with different references of the movie. First up, you open this up, and it's the Furby. It's the golden Furby. Love, love, love it. The inside on the discs is excerpts from the very beginning of the movie with the whole mining scene, if you will. And again, if you're going to put a book in here, please make it a reference to the movie. This is like a replica of his brochure that he would use in his gems and jewelry shop. And it even has like order forms in there. It's just, I don't know, very, very cool to thumb through. I do enjoy looking at this book for sure. And that was Uncut Gems. Hopefully, God, Safdie Brothers, Good Time needs to be in the Criterion Collection. That would be a day one buy for me. That's one I probably even wouldn't wait for a sale. I would just buy it because I need that in my life. Love me some Good Time. Romance, thriller, horror, 12 Angry Men. I will get to that later. And I did an episode of the podcast on that with Tim Talks Talkies. Very, very good. Thelma and Louise. Anyone in the chat can answer. What is your number one Criterion everyone should watch? You're looking for something. 12 Angry Men is a very solid one. I would say the Before trilogy. That's the one that I would recommend to just about anybody. I absolutely fell in love with that sucker. Let's go over here. You have Dazed and Confused on 4K. Howdy, Scottish. How's it going? You've not seen On the Waterfront either? Yeah, I'm embarrassed to say that. Thoughts on discless steelbooks? Why? That about sums it up for me. Just got my copy of Predator Film Arena, and while it wasn't originally planned to be discless, and that sucks. That is very, very unfortunate. Hopefully they gave you some sort of refund if it didn't come with the actual movie. That's terrible, man. The only one I heard of doing that was WandaVision. I didn't hear Film Arena did that too. Hello, sir. Keep up the amazing work. You appreciate all that you do, and we give your firstborn child for my collection. Don't do that. Keep your child. Children are better than movies. But I do come down here and watch these a lot when my children are asleep. Next one up. Because I watched Scanners first, I didn't enjoy it. I have not opened this up, even though this one was more intriguing to me, because I bought both of these at the same time. This is David Cronenberg's Videodrome, and as you can see, it's still sealed. I want to watch this, but Scanners made me nervous. Scanners made me very nervous, but I love James Woods. 1983, 89 minutes long, not even 90 minutes long. This has, I'm reading, I've never read what's actually on this disc before. It's got a short film by Cronenberg called Camera, 2 audio commentaries, some Rick Baker video effects. Oh my God. Like, I need to watch this. I know I need to watch this. I will. I promise you I will. Just not yet. Just not yet. And that was number 248. We got, this is the last one of like the big boxy boxes. But it's a movie that I absolutely love. My favorite Pixar, probably not, but it's very cool to see Wall-E in the Criterion Collection. To have this as your first Disney film makes all the sense in the world for them. Wall-E is pretty damn perfect to me, for sure. Here is what the inside looks like. Just a whole bunch of his beautiful treasury junk. We have a replica of the script. Trash Planet was its original name. Very cool stuff. A lot of the newer releases have the scripts. I don't know what you would throw in Wall-E as a physical goodie. The script is fine with me. Here's what the discs look like. And yeah, not too shabby. And this one, again, with Pixar, it's very cool that they're throwing in some of like the director, Andrew Stanton. They have a lot of his short films on this set, which I absolutely love because it's kind of hard to find those suckers. So if you're going to throw them in as supplemental material, I will take them any day of the week. What's my opinion of shock films? You know, off topic, but would love your opinion. I don't have too much to say on shock films. They try to have a effect on you, and sometimes it works. Oh my God, Martyrs! Yeah, that shocked the hell out of me. You have the 4K Thelma and Louise. It's very, very good. Hey, what's up, Ken? Mid-level media. Videodrome is miles ahead of Scanners. Watch it. Okay, good to know. I know I need to. To be fair, it wasn't Film Arena's fault. They got caught up in the rights. It still sucks, though. I know they made the steelbook and whatnot, but it still sucks. Hopefully, they gave you some sort of refund. Do the SciX 4K Ultra HD unboxing later. I still have that in the packaging. I will do it, though. Do I buy Criterions at full price? No. I always wait for the 50% off sale, but if they did put out Good Time, I would buy that day one. Love my vids, bro. Thank you very much. Will I be getting the Oppenheimer Steelbook? I missed out on the pre-orders, so I'm hoping so. I'm hoping they come back in stock, but we'll see. The pre-order sold out in like an hour. It was terrible. Next one. This is like the oddball. This is the only... There's not a lot of new release movies that get Criterion releases. This one did. It's David Fincher. Very mid-tier Finch. Very mid-Finch here. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And I gotta say, the packaging on here is just pretty weak. Pretty mid, if I do say so myself. It's got a blue case. Yuck. Get out of here. You don't belong in the Criterion Collection. I don't know. This feels wrong. And I don't know. Not the biggest fan of this release. There's normally all of theirs come with a book. This comes with a pamphlet. I don't know. Not my favorite Fincher, not my favorite release. It's just in here and it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm glad I have the slipcover. Normally, I'm indifferent on slipcovers. This one needs to cover up the blue because this is the only blue case that I have. Number 476 in the collection. That's it with that. But speaking of Fincher, has anybody seen The Killer? I loved it. I loved The Killer. I saw it in theaters in New Orleans. Had a very good time with it. Very, very good time. So let's start now with the rest of my Blu-rays and 4Ks in standard packaging. I won't talk too much about this right now because I did a podcast on it with Tim Talks Talkies, and that was 12 Angry Men. Very solid release. yeah, if you have not seen this movie, I highly recommend it. Even though it was made in 1957, still holds up to this day. It has the original TV version of 12 Angry Men, which is the same script. That one was like 40 some minutes. This one's 96 minutes. It's just interesting. To me, it's interesting to see how something like this evolves. And it makes me want to watch the 90s version too, because this story is strong enough that there can be different interpretations in there and they can all stand on their own footing. Very, very cool stuff. Next up, a Alfred Hitchcock classic. In college, I took a couple of film theory classes. The first one that I took was on remakes and Hitchcock. It kind of split the semester in half. And the first Hitchcock that I watched is the 39 Steps. Pretty solid noir here. Black and white, less than 90 minutes. Probably mid-tier Hitchcock, if I am being honest. But mid-tier Hitchcock is still like some of the best intriguing content you will watch. The 39 Steps. Oh God, here's a classic that I don't want to say I haven't seen because I will probably get reamed. One that I found in a lot. I didn't buy this on any sale. I just randomly found this. The Infinite Character just brought it up. Do I have the 400 Blows? I do, but I haven't seen it. I heard it's amazing. I've heard it's a classic. I totally need to watch it, but I haven't. 1959. 99 minutes, black and white, French classic. If you are a fan of cinema, you need to watch this. I totally understand. And I will. Just later. Just later, okay? Fun fact, tonight I was supposed to talk about this movie with KB Loves Movies, and I spaced it. And I feel terrible about that. He will be on the podcast in January. I think we're still going to talk about this, but we'll see. We were going to talk about this because Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon is coming out, his latest movie. This is like one of his first, and I haven't seen it yet. After Hours, the 4K transfer of After Hours. Very, very solid stuff here. 1985. I've heard very fun things about this. I've heard that I should see it. I don't really know too much about it, if I'm being honest. Number 1185 in this collection. It's just a Scorsese, and a Scorsese blind spot needs to be changed in my book. I know I will watch After Hours before I watch 400 Blows. Think of that what you will. But yeah, there's After Hours. Next up, back-to-back Martin Scorsese's, a movie from him that I haven't seen, that I've heard literally nothing about. But it's got Daniel Day-Lewis in it. The Age of Innocence. I know nothing about this. This movie I found at Goodwill. And anytime you find a Criterion at Goodwill, you get excited. At least I do. 1993, 138 minutes. Again, don't really know much about this. It's a period piece. I'm not the biggest period piece fan. That's for dang sure. But it has a 1993 documentary on the making of this film. That makes me a fan. I'll take the disc out here and show you the inside. Like, this just looks boring. This looks like I will fall asleep on 4 separate occasions watching this movie trying to finish it. That's the type of vibe I'm getting with The Age of Innocence. Am I wrong? Has anybody seen this? Let me know. Let me know. A Bridge Too Far, you got it in my collection? I know. That's why I can kind of talk about it. It's one of the ones where, like, hey, any of these I will be okay with watching. It feels like I'm doing my cinematic homework, and that's not a bad thing. Do you have a full Criterion list for best covers? I don't. Probably should have been doing that while I'm going through every single one, but I haven't yet. Another period piece, another movie that I need to see from an esteemed director that I just haven't yet. Barry Lyndon. I will probably watch Barry Lyndon before I watch The Age of Innocence. There are only a handful, like 2 or 3 Kubrick movies that I have not seen. This is one of them. 1975, 185 minutes. So many extras on this bad boy. And I don't know. When I think of Kubrick hitting the period piece, I get more intrigued than if I watched a Scorsese period piece. I don't know why. Just, yeah. I don't know. Kubrick is more fascinating to me. So I would rather go Kubrick over Scorsese the majority of the time. Even though I love Scorsese, don't get me wrong. Perfect timing. You brought out 400 Blows when you saw my comment. Yes, that was eerily timed. How's it going, man? With a name like the 400 Blows, it kind of sounds like a kung fu movie. It's definitely not. It's definitely not a kung fu movie. By the way, the Infinite character's real name is Prince. Very cool. That's a very cool name. Here's a very cool movie from a director that I absolutely love. Spike Jonze. Being John Malkovich. Yeah, this movie's odd, but not Wes Anderson odd. Spike Jonze needs to make more frickin' movies, man. Absolutely love his style of filmmaking. He's just a unique cat. This adaptation, Her, Where the Wild Things Are. Those are like the 4 movies he's made. I can watch anything that dude does. I love Jackass. He was in the Jackass crew every now and again in old person makeup the majority of the time. Being John Malkovich, number 611. If you want weird but not super weird that you can get into, Being John Malkovich. Next up, we have a directorial debut from a dynamic duo of filmmakers here, Joe and Ethan Coen. Blood Simple. I have seen this. I want to say that there was a 4K that like just came out of Blood Simple. This is the Blu-ray that I have here, and very solid noir piece here. 1984, 95 minutes, number 834 in the collection. There's a conversation with the Coens about the film's look. There's a new conversation with David Eggers, which is very, very cool. I did not realize that. Yeah, just cinematography is by what's his name? Barry Sonnenfeld, I believe. He worked with the Coens on the first few movies that they made. If you like the Coens and you haven't seen Blood Simple, you will like this because it's them just trying to figure out who they were going to be as filmmakers, and you kind of see that young Frances McDormand in this sucker. Very good stuff. Yikes. Going through my collection, you will see like what movies I haven't seen and that I'm embarrassed to show you that I haven't seen. Here's one that I need to. Another Terry Gilliam. I've heard nothing but phenomenal things. I just haven't watched it. Brazil. It's Brazil. And don't know anything about it. I'll be honest with you. Nothing. I know nothing about it. Number 51 in the collection, which means it's got a Laserdisc release as well. Yeah. Literally cannot tell you a dang thing about this movie. On the back, it says a dystopian masterpiece. Okay. One of my good friends from high school, junior high, elementary school, he's seen this. He has been talking to me to death about seeing Brazil. I will. Just later. Let me get a drink. I'll start reading your comments. Slipknot. I don't know why you're talking about Slipknot. Do I have the Truman Show? I do, but that's not on Criterion Collection. What steel books of James Bond do I have? All the Daniel Craig, a couple of Brosnan, a couple of Sean Connery, and that's it. Non-Criterion question, but big W for you, James Cameron fans. Yeah, we talked about that. This is the third time. Everyone's very excited in the physical media community. Very, very cool that those movies are finally getting 4K releases. Gotta wait till March, but I'm totally okay with that. This next movie, we talked about one Fincher. Here's another Fincher. God, Fincher for me either knocks it out of the park or kind of slogs his way through. And this one I really wanted to like more than what I did. This is The Game. The concept of this is amazing. Just the way that it went and the climax of the movie, I wasn't the biggest fan of. We got Sean Penn. We got Michael Douglas. They're rich. And they're kind of fucking with each other. You know the movie Trading Places at the very end? That's kind of like what this is. More or less. And, yeah. There's a key. It's fine. I mean, it's fine Fincher. Any Fincher isn't going to be, like, unwatchable. It's still going to look stylistic as all get out. This one's just, it's just a good. I wanted it to be great. It's just a good. Let's see here. Next up, another one that I blind bought on a sale that I haven't watched. Um, I've seen another movie from this director, Crumb. Love, love, love Crumb. Here is a movie that's not a documentary from him. It's a narrative work. Ghost World. I've heard nothing but great things about this as well. Um, yeah, I need to watch it. A very young Scarlett Johansson's in here. Steve Buscemi is in this movie as well. I know I'm gonna like it. I like this. Just seems like a movie whose style is right up my alley. I just need to watch it. That's with a lot of these Criterion, man. I swear. This next one, another one that I found while thrifting, I believe. I'm not the biggest Rolling Stones fan, but I still saw this and I'm like, I need to have this. It's Gimme Shelter. Couldn't tell you anything about this. Called The Greatest Rock Film Ever Made. This landmark documentary follows the Rolling Stones on their notorious 1969 US tour. Sure. Again, you can't pass up a Criterion when you see it, but this will be like one of the last Criterions I watch that's in my collection currently. It's probably good, and I do like a good like rock doc. Again, I'm just not the biggest Rolling Stone fan. They're fine. I love the Beatles. We talked about that. I love the Beatles. I'm definitely more Beatles than Stones. Next up, a movie that couldn't get made today. I will definitely say that, but it's very, very fun. Not fun's a weird word for this movie. I enjoyed it, but it's a little messy. Harold and Maude, a little bit problematic, but they love each other, okay? Harold and Maude, an old lady, a young boy, they love each other. So what? Get over it. 91 minutes, 1971. Got some commentaries. Doesn't have any like making of documentaries, unfortunately. Here's what the inside looks like. The disc is sunshine. Yeah, just kind of a. It's weird. It should be more messed up than what it is, but it is messed up. It's a very messed up movie that is watchable. It's not gonna like. It should make you feel gross, but it kind of doesn't. Very weird tone with Harold and Maude. Number 608. Another movie I have not seen, but I found very cheap, so I picked it up. Literally know nothing about this either. David Mamet, House of Games, 1987, 102 minutes long. I need to watch more Mamet. Mamet is another director. I'm a big fan of like watching directors' filmographies, and Mamet is a big blind spot for me, and that's the main reason why I got this. Nothing more, nothing less. This next movie I got because it was $10 at my secondhand store, JCD and Hobby. Shout out JCD and Hobby. But I've heard this movie's terrible, and I didn't know that this movie was terrible until after I bought it. Jellyfish Eyes. Jellyfish Eyes. This movie just looks weird. Like the frog that they have in here looks bizarre. Literally don't know a damn thing about this one either. It's got a weird ass monkey in it. Whoa, it's got like a weird looking, I don't even know how to describe that creature. It looks like a Pokemon come to life. Know nothing about this movie. Don't know if it's good. Don't know if it's bad. It's an artist who had his directorial debut, so it should look interesting. The creatures inside of here definitely looked interesting. Maybe sometime. I don't know. We talked about a Kubrick that I was embarrassed that I haven't seen. This one I did see when I had my old podcast. Shout out to Super Media All Stars, where I actually talked to like a group of friends every episode. They called me the Heist Hound because I was fascinated with heist movies. This one, very solid. The Killing. Black and white, very tropey, but it wasn't in 56. And I do still think it holds up to this day. Black and white, 84 minutes. Very, very solid movie here. The mask that is used here, very reminiscent of what the Joker used in the bank rob scene in The Dark Knight. Looks very reminiscent. You can kind of tell from the front cover here, but you can't tell that much. It looks pretty spot on to what Joker and his henchmen used in the first scene of The Dark Knight. So there's a fun fact for you. Here's another movie I haven't seen. I will go by this one very fast. Me and you and everyone we know. I don't know anything or anyone that's been in this. The Killing, 575. This movie, 1026. Again, this is another one. The movies that I don't know are normally ones that I find very, very cheap. That's why I picked it up, because you got to. You got to add to the collection if you find it for the very cheap. But yeah, John Hawkes is in this movie. I do love me some John Hawkes, but everything else I don't know. Another movie that I do a lot of like live streams on TikTok where I go through my collection, and this one got brought up a lot. It got brought up so much, and I knew I needed to watch it because it's from a director I like. Heard nothing but phenomenal things about this movie. Memories of Murder, Bong Joon-ho. Need to watch it. Don't know anything about it. I'm trying to keep everything a surprise for when I do watch it, because I don't want to be spoiled, but I've heard this is phenomenal. I finally just need to get around to watching it. This is number 1073 in the collection. Ooh, this next one. I gotta jump on my soapbox here. This movie doesn't get talked about enough. One of my favorite movies in 2017. That same year, mid-90s came out. Jonah Hill took a lot of this movie's gusto. It's about skateboarding, that whole landscape, that whole community. This is a documentary instead of a narrative like what Jonah Hill did. This is Minding the Gap. This was streaming on Hulu. That's where I originally watched it. Love this movie. One of my favorite movies of 2017. 93 minutes long. You're just following three people, kind of interweaving into their lives. It's over the span of like 2 years. Just fascinating stuff, just to see like how their lives kind of change. They're very like tight knit, and then stuff happens, and I don't want to ruin a lot. I just want to say, if you liked mid-90s, if you loved mid-90s, please give Minding the Gap a shot. A couple of you have been asking for Criterion recommendations. Cannot recommend this documentary highly enough. And that's all I'll say on it. But it's good. One of the oldest films in my entire movie collection is a movie that still feels like it has a lot to say today, as it did when it was made in the 30s. Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times. Another movie that I watched in a film theory class. This one was about Chaplin. No, it was about the silent era. And this is the only Chaplin that I've seen so far. But I want to watch more, because this movie is so good. Just kind of putting the Industrial Revolution on its head. This got made like a few years after the Great Depression, and kind of talks about that. A lot of just like factory work. Charlie Chaplin does cocaine in this movie, and it's hilarious. Like, I did not expect that from this movie when I first saw it. I laughed my fucking ass off. Good stuff. I do still think this holds up phenomenally. If you're scared of silent movies, if you're scared of black and white movies, this is a good introduction to make you not scared, because they are scary. They're overwhelmingly daunting, and I think that this is a good one to dip your toes into that pond and not be so scared. Here's a Kubrick movie. I'm just going to go through this fast because I found this one on the cheap, and I knew I needed it because it's Kubrick. I haven't seen. Paths of Glory. Again, heard nothing but great things about it. I haven't seen this or Spartacus. Like, his like 40s and 50s stuff is the stuff that I haven't seen a lot of. Paths of Glory. Oh, here's one I have seen, though. We've talked about Scorsese. Here is an absolute classic, one of his favorites. Another black and white movie that you shouldn't be scared of. Raging Frickin' Bull. One of the best sports movies ever made. I don't know what I can say about Raging Bull that hasn't been said already. It's phenomenal. Here's the inside. Just a very good character study, man. About his career, about what happens after his career. I kind of wish like there was a reverse cover of what he looks like later in the movie. I don't want to ruin it if you have not seen this movie. Robert De Niro's phenomenal. Joe Pesci's phenomenal. Yeah, another big recommendation here. Um, a movie I haven't seen, a horror movie, which is an absolute classic. Another one, like one of the first Criterions I ever bought, and I still haven't seen it, and I probably won't watch this copy because now I have the movie in 4K. Like that's how long I've had this movie. Rosemary's Frickin' Baby. I've heard ever since the 4K movie came out, I've heard mixed things on Rosemary's Baby, to be completely honest. 1968. I don't have a lot to say because I haven't seen it. I know I need to. Let me know if this movie's good or not. Because honestly, I've heard the most mixed things about it in the past 2 months. So that's made me even more scared to watch it. What's the worst critically acclaimed horror? Can't think of one off the top of my head. The Real Three Idiots podcast joined. Thank you very much. Thoughts on Larry Clark? Kids is phenomenal, and that's the only movie I've seen from him. But I do have a couple more from him as well. God, there's two. He made like a duology of movies that's coming out on physical media. I think from Altered Innocence that I really want to see, and I can't even remember what the hell it's called anymore. That's terrible. Do I have any Manta Lab releases? I have one. Knock Knock. If you know, you know. Okay. You own the 12 Angry Men Steelbook. Very cool. Very jealous of that. Okay. Memories of Murder is on par with Parasite for me, if not better. I thought Parasite was a little on the overrated side. It's great, but I got a little overhyped on Parasite. But if it is as good, I will like Memories of Murder for sure. Yes, you have to. Korean cinema at its finest. Okay. Breakfast at Tiffany's deserves a Criterion release, in my opinion. You're not wrong. Pedro for Dr. Reed. Yes, should have been Krasinski. I'm not mad. I don't know what route. Pedro Pascal was out of the blue for me for Reed Richards. So I don't know how that team is going to shape up, but I'm intrigued. The 4K of Blood Simple is coming out in January. I knew it was coming out soon. I'm terrible with release dates on Criterion stuff. Putting Ghost World into your watch list. Thank you. You're welcome. The one movie you want to get by Scorsese really bad. Probably it's my number 3 that I want is Last Temptation of Christ. Man, I thought I had that on DVD on Criterion. I guess I don't. I thought I did, but maybe it's hiding somewhere in the collection. I got enough movies. Sometimes a few of them get misplaced, and it's not the funnest thing. Have I seen any John Waters movies? I have not. Have I seen Pool Hall Junkies? I have not. Okay, I have 5 more movies to go over. Here's a John Ford classic that I haven't seen in a very long time. I have not seen a lot of Westerns. I have seen Stagecoach, though. I remember this being phenomenal. John Ford made some of the best Westerns from what I've heard. I have not seen a bunch. I need to watch The Searchers. I've heard that's like the best one you can possibly watch. Stagecoach, nice, solid runtime. It's a fun movie. Again, not a lot to say because I have not seen it in a very, very long time. God, man, I am just running into movies I'm embarrassed to say I haven't seen. Terrence Malick is very hit or miss with me. I will say that. But I have heard great things about The Thin Red Line. It's hard for me to like want to pop in a war movie because I know it's just going to be depressing as all get out. Even though I really loved All Quiet on the Western Front that came out last year. This has an all-star cast. Sean Penn, Nick Nolte, Woody Harrelson are the main ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Music by Hans Zimmer. John Cusack's in here. George Clooney's in here. Jim Caviezel. Adrian Brody. I need to watch it. It's just Terrence Malick. Man, he's all over the place. Sometimes I love his stuff. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I feel like I will venture more into like this is more straightforward than most of his movies, which is good in my book. Here's a movie I have not seen and one that I found at a Goodwill. Lena Dunham. Girls is the only thing I've seen of hers. Here is her directorial debut, I believe. Tiny Furniture. If you zoom into here, you can see like this cover art is very pixelated. Like it was shot on very crappy digital early 2000s film. Or not film, I guess. Lena Dunham got her start making YouTube videos, but she emerged as a major talent thanks to the groundbreaking success of this exceptionally sharp comedy, which garnered the 24-year-old writer, director, actor comparisons to the likes of Woody Allen. Gah. Yeah, there's 4 short films on here by Lena Dunham. That gets me excited. Tiny Furniture. Has anybody seen it? Let me know. Collector Movie Man has Raging Bull too. Yeah, it's good. It's a very good. Oh God, here's a movie that I have not seen in a very long time. Steven Soderbergh, I believe. Love me some Steven Soderbergh. This one, not my type of Soderbergh movie per se. It's Traffic. Another one that I found very cheap. I want to say this was a $10 find at the thrift store. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know when the next time I'm going to rewatch this is, but I remember this being pretty dang solid. And the last one, kind of ending on a wet noodle because I have seen the remake of this movie, but I've not seen this movie. The original, The Vanishing. The remake's pretty good. This one, I don't know. But there's The Vanishing, and now it's vanishing. And now, after 95 minutes, I have been over every single Criterion that I had. All the Laserdiscs, all the DVDs, all the Blu-rays, all the 4Ks. Now I need to go and put all of these back away, which will take another half an hour, which is very fun. But I think this does it for the bonus episode of Boutique Talk. Thank you very much for listening. If you haven't listened before and you're watching live on TikTok or YouTube, go check it out. I've had amazing guests on. One of them is in the live stream right now on TikTok, Dan in Real Life. We talked some A24 Midsommar. Every time we do a podcast, I have a guest on. They pick a release from a boutique label that they love, and we just kind of talk about it. Tonight was a little bit different. I just wanted to show off every single Criterion that I had, and I hope everybody liked it. A little bit different. If you liked it, I might do more of these where I go over more boutique, like every Imprint Films movie I have, every Scream Factory movie I have. If you like it, let me know. If not, I won't do this again because it's going to take me half an hour to put away. But I had fun. Hopefully you did too. That's all I got for you today, folks. So until next time, I'll see you.